Welcome. Today we're exploring the top 4 rare United States of America wheat penny 1-cent coins, each valued for different conditions, key mint marks, and special varieties that collectors are always searching for. From early low mintage issues and famous error coins to scarce wartime varieties and beautifully preserved uncirculated examples, these wheat penny coins can sometimes be worth far more than their face value. The condition of the coin plays a very important role, whether it is heavily circulated, lightly worn, uncirculated, or preserved in high mint state condition. Mint marks such as D and S, along with rare no-mint mark varieties and unusual minting errors, can significantly increase the rarity and collector demand for these historic 1-cent coins. Let's get started. First up, there is something magical about discovering an old coin that has quietly survived decades of history. A small piece of copper can travel through thousands of hands, witness countless everyday moments, and still remain as a silent storyteller of the past. Today we are exploring a coin that many collectors instantly recognize, the famous Lincoln wheat penny from the year 1958 with the D mint mark, a coin found in worn and rough condition yet still capable of capturing the attention of collectors around the world. The wheat penny series holds a very special place in American coin collecting. These coins circulated for nearly half a century and became one of the most familiar coins ever used in daily American life. Even today, people still search through jars of old pennies hoping to find one of these historical pieces. The design of this coin honors one of the most respected leaders in American history, Abraham Lincoln. When the Lincoln cent first appeared in 1909, it became the first regular United States coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbolic image. Looking at the front side of the 1958 penny, you will see the calm and thoughtful profile of Abraham Lincoln facing to the right. His portrait represents leadership, resilience, and the preservation of the United States during one of the most difficult periods in its history. Above Lincoln's head appears the word liberty, while the phrase "In God we trust" stretches across the upper rim of the coin. These powerful words have appeared on American coins for generations and continue to represent national values. Just to the right of Lincoln's portrait sits the date 1958, marking the final year of the famous wheat penny design. This detail alone makes the coin historically interesting because it represents the end of a long era in American coinage. Beneath the date you will find a small letter D, which tells collectors that this particular coin was produced at the historic Denver Mint. The Denver Mint has produced billions of coins that entered circulation across the country. Turning the coin over reveals the classic reverse design that gave this penny its popular nickname. 2 tall wheat stalks curve along the left and right edges of the coin, framing the central text and giving the coin its distinctive agricultural theme. Between the wheat stalks appear the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above these words sits the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. This simple yet elegant design remained in use for nearly 50 years and became one of the most beloved designs in the entire history of American coinage. By 1958, millions of wheat pennies were being produced to meet the needs of everyday commerce. These coins moved quickly through stores, banks, vending machines, and cash registers all across the nation. Because they were used so frequently, many of the surviving coins today show heavy signs of wear. The coin we are discussing today is an example in bad condition, meaning that the details may appear faint and the surface may show scratches, discoloration, or other marks from long use. A worn coin like this might appear dark brown, uneven in color, or slightly rough to the touch. The high points of Lincoln's portrait may be smooth, and parts of the wheat stalks may appear faded after decades of circulation. Even though the condition may not look impressive at first glance, experienced collectors know that appearance alone does not always determine a coin's importance. Some of the most valuable coins in the world have been discovered in ordinary coin jars, forgotten drawers, or even pocket change that people almost ignored. Collectors carefully examine coins like the 1958 D wheat penny because rare varieties and minting errors can occasionally appear. A small doubling in the lettering, a striking flaw, or a rare die variety can dramatically change the importance of a coin. Because of this possibility, coin enthusiasts often inspect every penny they encounter, hoping to uncover a rare variation that others may have overlooked. The excitement of the hunt is one of the biggest reasons people enjoy coin collecting. Every coin becomes a potential discovery waiting to be examined. Even a heavily circulated penny carries historical value. It represents the economy of the 1950s, the everyday purchases of that era, and the long journey the coin has taken across generations. Imagine the number of times this penny may have been exchanged between people buying groceries, newspapers, or small items decades ago. Each mark on the surface tells part of that silent journey through time. The year 1958 is particularly important because it was the last year before the wheat penny design was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse starting in 1959. That change marked a major transition in American coin design, making the final wheat pennies even more interesting for collectors. For many people, discovering one of these coins today feels like holding a tiny piece of American history. The color of older copper coins also evolves over time. A coin that once appeared bright and reddish when freshly minted can slowly transform into deep brown shades after decades of exposure to air and handling. Collectors sometimes appreciate these natural color changes because they show the authentic aging process of the metal. Even in worn condition, a wheat penny from 1958 remains a fascinating reminder of the long-running Lincoln cent tradition. The combination of history, design, and the possibility of rare variations keeps collectors searching for these coins year after year. So the next time you see an old penny in your change, take a moment to look closely at the date and the mint mark. You might be holding a coin that traveled through more than half a century of history without anyone realizing its hidden potential. And in extraordinary situations, when a rare variety of the 1958D wheat penny appears and collector demand becomes intense, a remarkable example has been known to reach an astonishing value of $45,000. Next up, the famous Lincoln wheat penny from the year 1944 without a mint mark, showing a beautiful brown shade and preserved in very fine condition. The wheat penny series is one of the most recognizable coin designs ever produced in the United States. For nearly 50 years, these pennies circulated across the country, passing from hand to hand and becoming part of everyday life for millions of people. The design of this coin honors one of the most admired leaders in American history, Abraham Lincoln. His portrait has appeared on the American 1-cent coin for more than a century, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Looking closely at the front side of the 1944 penny, you will see the detailed profile of Abraham Lincoln facing toward the right. The sculptor carefully captured his thoughtful expression, giving the coin a dignified and historic appearance. Above Lincoln's portrait appears the powerful national motto "In God We Trust." This phrase stretches across the upper edge of the coin and reflects a value that has long been associated with American currency. To the left of the portrait, the word liberty is clearly visible, symbolizing one of the most important ideals upon which the nation was built. Just to the right of Lincoln's image sits the date 1944, marking the year when this particular coin was struck and released into circulation. One detail that collectors immediately notice is the absence of a mint mark. When a wheat penny does not display a mint mark beneath the date, it means the coin was produced at the historic Philadelphia Mint. The Philadelphia Mint is the oldest mint facility in the United States and has produced countless coins that circulated throughout the nation's history. Turning the coin over reveals the classic reverse design that gave the wheat penny its popular nickname. Two elegant wheat stalks frame the design along the left and right sides of the coin. Between these wheat stalks appear the words 1 cent and United States of America, boldly engraved in the center. At the top of the reverse side appears the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. This motto reflects the unity of the states that form the nation. The wheat stalks themselves symbolize growth, prosperity, and the agricultural strength that played an important role in the development of the United States. The year 1944 holds special significance because it was during the period of the Second World War. During this time, the United States had already experimented with steel pennies in 1943 to conserve copper for the war effort. By 1944, copper returned to penny production, often using recycled metal materials collected during the war years. This makes the 1944 wheat penny an interesting reminder of how global events can influence even the smallest objects in everyday life. The coin we are discussing today shows a brown shade, which is a natural color that copper coins develop as they age over many decades. When newly minted, copper coins usually shine with a bright reddish color. However, as time passes and the metal reacts with the environment, that color slowly changes into darker tones of brown. Collectors often appreciate these brown shades because they reflect the natural aging process of the coin and confirm that it has not been artificially altered. This particular example is described as being in very fine condition, meaning that although the coin circulated, much of the original detail remains visible. Lincoln's hairlines can still be seen, the lettering remains clear, and the wheat stalks on the reverse side still show strong definition. Coins in very fine condition often strike a balance between history and preservation, showing evidence of circulation while still retaining a pleasing appearance. Collectors around the world continue to search for wheat pennies because each one represents a small piece of American heritage. Many people discover these coins inside old jars of change, inherited coin collections, or forgotten drawers where coins have been stored for decades. The thrill of coin collecting comes from the possibility that an ordinary-looking coin may actually hold hidden rarity or historical importance. Certain wheat pennies contain rare minting variations, unusual strikes, or subtle differences that make them extremely desirable to collectors. Because of this, experienced collectors carefully examine every detail of a coin, often using magnifying tools to inspect the lettering, the date, and the edges of the design. The 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark is a coin that continues to fascinate collectors due to its historical era, classic design, and potential for rare varieties. Holding a coin like this can feel like holding a small artifact from the past, something that once moved through the daily lives of people many decades ago. Imagine the journeys this penny may have taken, from grocery stores and bus fares to pocket change and bankrolls. Each tiny mark on its surface represents a moment in time, a silent witness to countless transactions and personal stories. Coins like this remind us that history is not only found in books or museums, but also in the everyday objects that quietly survive across generations. For collectors, every wheat penny offers a chance to discover something special hidden within its design and history. And in extremely rare circumstances, when the right combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand appears, a remarkable example of this coin has been known to reach a value of $45,000. Next up, the famous Lincoln wheat penny from the year 1955 without a mint mark, showing a dark blackened color from years of circulation. For generations, the wheat penny has remained one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. Introduced in 1909, it quickly became part of everyday American life and circulated through stores, markets, banks, and households across the country. The design of the coin honors one of the most respected leaders in American history, Abraham Lincoln. His portrait appears on the front of the coin and has remained a symbol of leadership and unity for more than a century. When you examine the front of the 1955 penny, you will see Lincoln's profile facing to the right. The portrait shows his thoughtful expression and carefully sculpted details, reflecting the artistic craftsmanship used in American coin production. Across the top of the coin appears the national motto "In God We Trust," a phrase that has appeared on American coins for many decades and continues to represent an important part of the nation's identity. To the left side of Lincoln's portrait, the word liberty stands proudly, symbolizing the fundamental values upon which the United States was built. Just to the right of Lincoln's image appears the date 1955, marking the year when this coin was struck and released into circulation. One detail that collectors always examine carefully is the mint mark. On this particular coin, there is no mint mark visible beneath the date, which means it was produced at the historic Philadelphia Mint. The Philadelphia Mint is the oldest mint in the United States and has been responsible for producing enormous quantities of coins that circulated throughout the nation. Turning the coin over reveals the classic design that gives the wheat penny its famous name. Two tall wheat stalks curve along the left and right edges of the reverse side. Between these wheat stalks appear the words 1 cent and United States of America, clearly engraved in the center of the coin. Above these words sits the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one, representing the unity of the states within the nation. The wheat stalks themselves symbolize growth, prosperity, and the agricultural roots that helped shape the early economy of the United States. The 1955 wheat penny holds a special place in coin collecting history because certain varieties from this year became extremely famous among collectors. Because of this reputation, collectors carefully inspect every 1955 penny they find, hoping to discover a rare variation hidden among ordinary coins. The coin we are discussing today is described as having a blackened color and circulated condition. Over many decades, copper coins can darken naturally as they react with air, moisture, and constant handling. This process creates deep brown or even nearly black shades across the surface of the coin, giving it a distinctive aged appearance. A circulated coin means it was used in everyday transactions for many years. As a result, the high points of the design may appear smoother and some of the fine details may be slightly worn. Lincoln's hairlines may appear softer, and parts of the wheat stalks on the reverse may not be as sharp as they once were when the coin was newly minted. Despite this wear, coins like this remain fascinating because they represent real pieces of history that passed through the daily lives of people decades ago. Imagine how many times this small penny might have been used to pay for a newspaper, a piece of candy, or a bus fare many years ago. Every scratch, mark, or color change on the surface tells part of the story of the coin's long journey through time. Coin collectors often search through old coin rolls and jars hoping to rediscover wheat pennies that may have been forgotten for generations. Sometimes a coin that appears worn or dark can still turn out to be an important discovery when examined more closely. That excitement is one of the reasons coin collecting continues to attract new enthusiasts around the world. A single penny might seem insignificant in everyday life, yet it can carry historical importance and collector interest far beyond its original face value. The 1955 wheat penny without a mint mark is especially intriguing because it reminds collectors that even common-looking coins deserve a closer look. Many people today still search through pocket change hoping to find one of these classic wheat design pennies. Holding such a coin is like holding a small artifact from the mid-20th century, a tiny witness to decades of American commerce and daily life. The darker blackened color on this circulated coin only adds to the sense of age and history that surrounds it. It serves as a reminder that coins travel incredible distances and pass through countless hands before eventually finding their way into collections. And in extremely rare circumstances, when a remarkable example of this 1955 wheat penny variety appears and collector demand becomes intense, a single coin has been known to reach an incredible value of $45,000. Next up. There is something truly fascinating about the idea that a tiny coin can travel across decades of history while silently witnessing everyday life. Many people ignore pennies without a second thought, but coin collectors know that some of these small copper pieces can hold remarkable stories and surprising value. Today we are looking closely at a historic American coin, the classic Lincoln wheat penny from the year 1952 without a mint mark, appearing today in circulated condition after many years of use. For nearly half a century, wheat pennies were part of everyday life in the United States. They passed through millions of hands in stores, banks, restaurants, and homes, becoming one of the most recognizable coins in American history. The design of this coin honors the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, a leader remembered for guiding the nation through one of its most difficult periods and preserving the unity of the country. When you look at the front of the 1952 penny, the first thing you will notice is Lincoln's profile facing toward the right. His portrait has appeared on the American 1-cent coin for more than a century, making it one of the longest-running coin designs ever produced. Above Lincoln's portrait you will see the words "In God We Trust" stretching along the upper rim of the coin. This phrase has appeared on United States coins for generations and continues to symbolize national values. On the left side of Lincoln's portrait appears the word liberty, representing one of the most important principles upon which the nation was founded. To the right of the portrait sits the date 1952, marking the year this coin was produced and released into circulation. Collectors always examine the area beneath the date to identify the mint mark. On this particular coin there is no mint mark present, which means it was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint. The Philadelphia Mint is the oldest mint facility in the United States and has produced an enormous number of coins that circulated throughout the country. Turning the coin over reveals the famous reverse design that gave the wheat penny its well-known nickname. Two tall wheat stalks curve gracefully along the edges of the coin. Between these wheat stalks appear the bold words 1 cent and United States of America placed prominently in the center of the design. Above the central text sits the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, symbolizing the unity of the American states. The wheat stalks themselves represent growth, agriculture, and prosperity, reflecting the agricultural strength that helped shape the early economy of the nation. The year 1952 sits comfortably within the later years of the wheat penny era. By this time, the design had already been circulating for decades and had become deeply familiar to the American public. Millions of these pennies were used daily for small purchases such as newspapers, candy, bus fares, and grocery items. Because these coins were heavily used in everyday transactions, many of the surviving examples today show clear signs of circulation and wear. The coin we are discussing today is described as circulated, meaning it has spent a significant amount of time being used in commerce before eventually finding its way into a collection. A circulated wheat penny may display smooth areas where the design has worn down from years of handling. Lincoln's hair details may appear softer, and the wheat stalks on the reverse side may show less sharp definition. The surface of the coin may also appear darker than when it was originally minted. Copper coins naturally change color over time, shifting from bright reddish tones to deeper brown shades. This aging process is completely natural and often adds character to older coins that have survived many decades. Collectors frequently search through jars of old change hoping to rediscover wheat pennies that may have been forgotten for years. Sometimes these coins appear in inherited collections or old containers where they have remained untouched for generations. One of the reasons coin collecting is so exciting is that even the smallest coin can carry historical significance. A simple penny can represent a specific year, a specific mint, and a specific moment in the economic history of a nation. Each tiny scratch or mark on the surface of a circulated coin reflects its long journey through everyday life. Imagine how many people may have held this coin while making purchases many decades ago. From busy city stores to quiet neighborhood markets, this small copper coin could have traveled through countless transactions. For collectors, examining coins like this is like uncovering a small artifact from the past. The Wheat Penny series remains especially popular because of its historic design and the possibility that rare variations may still be discovered. Because of this, experienced collectors carefully inspect the date, the mint mark area, and the lettering on every coin they encounter. Sometimes an ordinary-looking penny can surprise collectors with unusual characteristics or rare minting details. The 1952 Wheat Penny without a mint mark continues to interest collectors because it represents a classic piece of American coin history. Even after many decades, these coins still appear occasionally in circulation or old collections waiting to be rediscovered. The excitement of coin collecting lies in the possibility that a forgotten coin might turn out to be something extraordinary. And in extremely rare circumstances, when the right combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand appears, an exceptional example of this coin has been known to reach a value of $45,000.